Now for the eyes, I've already put the white in the eye. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put grey. This is 270 grey in what would amount to be the white of the eye. Then I'm going to put the grey in the centre of the eye. This is the 273. I'm just leaving that just for the moment. And grey, like that. Because what's important now is that I get the pupil just right. As I say, the picture that I've got shows in boss-eyed. We can't have that. So I've got to redo the eye. Don't worry about the gap along the top. Now the way we do this, by putting in the eye in there, and then we cover the eye up. Now I'm looking on the monitor now to see how this works. I'm not actually touching the picture, I'm just covering the eye up. And we flick it across like that. And we see, are they both looking out the picture at you? They are. The only thing I would say is looking at that light in the eye there is fine. We'll put that there, but we'll make that just a little tiny bit higher. Like that. And we will move it. Just a bit of grey underneath. Let's try again. It's that small an adjustment that we need. Perfect. So I know my chimp's eyes is exactly looking at me. So that's great news. So now we've got to put in a colour. I'm going to put the pink in now, and you might be asking me why I'm not putting that centre part in. Well, the reason you'll see in a minute why that is. Yeah, that's the pink going in the eye, and on the outer rim of that we put the grey. I would suggest you do it the way that I'm showing you here, because as you can see it's working out really well at the moment. And while you can see the separation, I mean your line here will be better than the line I've got. Great. Great. Okay, now the inner line I'm also going to use the grey on, just here. And now we can clearly see what's needed. Now the centre part. Well, what would be the iris of the eye? And this is grey again. You see the sense of me putting pink in there now, we can see the difference. Now I can already see this is going to be a stunning eye. Different to ones I've done before. And this is where we can make those very small adjustments if we want to, before we commit ourselves to the darker colours. It's not quite in the same place. The light in the eye is always in a slightly different place. In this case it's a slightly further over than that one is. Okay. Good. Now, different colour. This is ochre 182. We haven't used it much in the construction of the face yet, but it's going to be added. But we did in the ear, if you remember, just a touch. Okay, so that's 182 in there. So far, so good. We've now got to darken that up. And what I'm going to use is 177 to make that a little softer, because I'm going to put black on next and that will be quite harsh. So the brown goes in on top of the grey, the black will be on top of that. it's best to do both eyes at the same time as well. Losing my white. If that happens to you, just bring it back. Because you have to do it as you go along. Okay, now we've got to darken that centre part of the eye. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the black in the centre. That's in the pupil. Oh gosh, this is so small that I've overdone it again. But never mind, always bring it back again. So now we've got a really dark pupil, which is what we want. What about the rest of it now? We've got to start darkening this. So come brown with the grey. This is the brown again. 177. And that's going to darken the eye. But I still want some of the ochre coming through there. So I've just left the bottom section of that there, like that. Yeah, do the same with this one. Once again, you can see the ochre in the bottom. I'm going to touch that in again with ochre in a little while. Now we come round the outside of the eye. I suggest you probably use 177 here. And now the grey is put in here because we don't want it to be, this is 273 grey, we don't want it to be too light at the top. Looking good. Now we haven't put any white in here, and I didn't do it deliberately because I just want to put it and add it at the end. Just a little bit of colour. That. A little bit of ochre, like that. 182, that is. Could be yes, a little stronger now because we want that to have a really, it's really great. That's looking stunning. Okay, now what we've got to do is to use, I've used 175, so I'm a bit reluctant to use black, but I think I'm going to have to, just to be tentative. I'm going to use a bit of black. Be careful with this because it's something normally I would use 175 for, but I've already used 175 and it's not made it appreciably darker, so we use the black sparingly. Like that. I'll just do one little section, I think. Now this is where we've got to start making it just look a little bit, got a little fiddly job here. We've got to make that darker. On the outside you can see how it's working. A little bit darker in here. This is why I would work on one eye at a time. It's got to be darker here. Now we've also got to use the 175. That gives us the link because we don't want any of the black to stray onto the lighter area up here. Okay, good. Come around here. Now that's quite light at this point, so we'll be very gentle. It's quite light here, but it won't be because we'll be putting pink back on in a minute, and then a bit of dark under there. Now you see how every time I darken a little area, you see how much of an impact it makes on the eye itself. This is another area here which we need to 175. To say this is quite tricky, but it's great fun to do, and it's a control in the pencil. That's what we're trying to do. Control the pencil to create the imagery. I've put a little bit of dark pink on there, which dark pink, it's 131, which is the darker of the two pinks, and I'll show you in a moment how we use that in other ways. Right, so there we are now. We've got that. That's given us the depth that we want round there. Just a little bit more on that side there to give us a bulbous area like that. And we want 175 to stretch down here a little. Well, that was on top of the grey that we've done. See how that eye now is really getting quite strong, quite dark. I want a little bit of light there, but I don't want too much, so just a little spot of light in there, and a little spot of 131 just in this section here. Might as well do it now, and then that can be enhanced with the black, going around the outside of the eye like that. Okay, now I think we picked that up. Probably a good idea to watch that again, because now it's all moulding almost in together. You see the difference, how where that separate, well, this isn't, this one over here. This is very much a question of the whole lot being almost merged together with the ochre there as well. And finally, I think I don't want to put I can't put a blender in here, it'd be too strong. I'm just going to use the grey, which is the lighter grey. That's sort of like a blender. There's a nice effect. That's great. Now, just to finish off, we've now got to put some of the pink. I'll extend the pink along now. I started it here. Now I want to put it in here. And this is when we can start thinking about darkening. I won't do the other eye because, as you've seen it done here, you don't need to see it done again. Now you see we're matching the ear. Oh, you can't see that on the screen, but you can see, I'll leave it there so you can see what I mean. The ear and the face now are coming into alignment, making much more sense. Okay, so that's the pink in there, and we've got to put a little bit of pink in here too. Don't worry at all if it touches the dark colour, because that is how it is on the picture. And in here, it's quite light through the bottom part of the eye, so I'm going to leave that light and just, oh, yes, sorry, I thought it was a black, horrible feeling. I put the black in there instead. That looks good. And I'm really pleased with that. That's come really well. Now, we put black in, we can put more black in, but at the moment I think there's enough black in there. This is the 175 going in, but now we can use it to create this bridge between the two. And am I happy with it? I think probably I am. See a little bit of 132 in there. Now, while I'm here, we've really got to extend this grey a little more. So we put a little bit more in there. And the grey extends down here. There, we've already put it in there. Under here, because now we've got another baggy bit. In here. I'm doing all of this because it's all basically the same idea as that. Because in a minute I should be using the grey 270 again, and you'll have some fantastic effects. It's all the sort of wrinkles. They have a very wrinkly effect to their faces, and see how that's now beginning to come on. When all of this dark is put in, that's going to look stunning, that is. Now I Have I done enough? I think probably I have. More depth there. We can have a light area. I've put a bit of white around there at the moment. You could do the same thing, because again it gives you stopping points and something to butt up to. But that eye is really stunning now. It really is. I just want a little bit of light in there now. I'm going to, maybe I'll use a bit of grey just here. I'll just look back on it, and I think if we put the grey, we don't want any foreign colours in here. No, I haven't put anything other. Oh, that looks great, doesn't it? That's lovely. Yep, that was the colour to use. Now, yes, am I happy with that? Right, let's put some more pink in. This is 131. 131 is just a bit stronger, and as I said, it matches what we've got over there. And that looks great. Now, when originally I did that, those lines that I had there seemed quite strong, but now because we're using the blending techniques, and I'm using the light grey now, we are now using this like a blender, and I'm going to go over everywhere, just a little bit of light. See, even that now has taken on a different appearance. Just a little bit of light in there. We've already got it in there, but I think it's a good idea to go over using the grey. Give us this effect. You see why I can't do the other eye, can't you? It takes a lot of time up, but you need to see all this. You see how smooth that now makes that. All those undercolours we put in. And there. See, what I'm doing is picking up the lighter parts of the skin now to make it smoother with the grey. Could you do the same thing with a colour shaper? Here was. You can, but it won't be quite the same effect that I'm getting here. And that is really, really looking absolutely fantastic. It's a completely new technique, which is the whole idea of showing you these different ideas that I've got than you've seen before. Now you can see that is looking absolutely stunning. Just in here we've got a little bit of light, and I can't really finish this off because I haven't done the other side, but I'll just finish this side off now. There is one little tiny area here which I want to try to get in if I can. Just use the grey, and it's a little bit of a break in tone like that. Now you don't have to do that. I'm just showing off, folks, but you can see how nice it is. Just giving a little bit of character to it. A little bit more dark there, because that's where the drama is, in the black. In there, and I think we'll leave it at that. I'll pull away from that, and then you'll really appreciate how good that actually is. I'm just wondering, this is just a trial. I don't suggest you do this. Let me wait until you see how it turns out on mine before you decide to do it. I'm just giving this is the very soft blender. And I'm just wondering whether I could just touch it in, just to pick up the odd little bit of pastel which hasn't been picked up with the 270 grey. That's good. Just a little bit here. It is refinement, really. Oh, that looks good. For some reason, I don't know why, but that little chimp here has got his eye is slightly hooded at that point. Don't understand. Don't really know why. Maybe just a little bit more black now to emphasise it. You might think I'm taking a long time, which I am. Of course I'm taking a long time because I want to show you, but it's so enjoyable you don't really want to stop. You want to keep going and going, and because when you see the results like this, that does work. So if you feel like having a go at that, try that. Just a little bit more grey here. Just a little touch of white wouldn't be a bad idea there. Just adds a little bit more punch. Do I want any more there? Just a little. Now I've got to stop now because really I'm getting silly. But I hope you enjoyed that, and you might feel it worth watching it all again. I know I would, just to see how that magically appeared on the paper. Great. I'll pull you back so that you get a better view of it, and then I'll do the other eye. Oh, there we are. Excellent opportunity to see the before and after job. So I'm going to finish that using the same techniques as I've used there, in the same colours, and then what we'll do then is to move down to here, and the first thing I'm going to be doing there, I might as well do a little bit for you to show you, a little bit of white, yeah.